Well, Nigeria loses an estimated 3.7% of its forest each year, according to the United Nations. It has lost 1.14 million hectares of tree cover from 2001 to 2021, the equivalent of 587 million tons of carbon emissions. Climate experts say the expansion of agricultural land and logging of trees are responsible for this and are urging the government to encourage more tree planting and sustainable agriculture. Correspondent Ajeck Mangut reports.
Ohena Peter and his family are harvesting beans they planted a few months ago. He says the yield has been affected due to poor soil for planting crops.
The soil is not thicker as before, and that washes the nutrients of the soil, and there reduces the rate of what we produce in the farm. Before, we produced like 20 bags per hectare, but today we are having up to 6, 7 only on a hectare. And crops like corn cannot be planted on this soil due to the fact that the soil has lost its nutrients, except if we can afford fertilizer.
Nigeria has a huge problem with deforestation. Nearly 4% of its forest disappears every year.
According to the United Nations, Nigeria has the highest rate of deforestation globally. On this farm on the outskirts of Nigeria's capital, Abuja, only a handful of trees are standing.
Agricultural activities to meet the needs of Nigeria's growing population and cutting of trees for cooking fuel have been largely blamed for Nigeria's depleting forests. Experts say this has in turn impacted food production, as trees which should absorb carbon emissions and nourish the soil for crops to grow have decreased.
Agriculture is one of the highest sources of carbon emission globally, and also one of the highest sources of deforestation also. When the forest is not there to help nourish the soil becomes sterile. Are you not seeing now? So things like deforestation, so like desertification now, like we see in the Sahara area, you understand, starts popping up. In 2012, we saw flood that we are still yet to recover from. And just last year alone, we also witnessed another flood that claims over 630 lives. That's for human lives, right? Not to talk of the economic impact.
Experts say the government needs to address this by planting more trees and encouraging climate-smart agriculture to reduce the impact that deforestation has on farmlands.
One of the solutions to reducing deforestation, first is afforestation. Now, you have to embark on massive tree planting initiatives, right, to cover up for the forest lost that we are able to see depleting. The government also, as one of the solutions, has to start thinking of how to deploy, clean cooking technologies, so that, because once we now adopt these technologies, we will stop bringing down these trees, and that way the forest will be safe.
Nigeria's Ministry of Agriculture says it is incorporating technology and innovation into the agricultural sector to increase food production and reduce the impact of climate change. Last year, the government announced plans to engage young Nigerians to plant 250,000 trees to reduce carbon emissions. That is yet to be implemented. Until then, farmers like Peter will have to make do with a depleted harvest. Ajeck Mangut in Abuja, reporting for DD India.